Well, the moment of truth has arrived, as they say. I've got all the connections coming in. I changed out, just a rerun of what I've done here. This was just an L going down to the house, and so I've replaced that and put a T in it. I brought that pipe up and over and put a faucet valve here, or valve here. And sorry, I'm thinking in Spanish so much that I forget the English words sometimes. And this tube just then goes up and to the top, and it takes an angle over and an angle down into a cutout that has been covered with mosquito cloth, so the mosquitoes won't get down in it. The other hole that's in the tank has been closed with its original cap. So all I did was cut out the one and put mosquito cloth here to stop the mosquitoes coming in. So that's just an angle up and over. It's not under any kind of a pressure. So the water just is going to flow freely, and it'll capture any kind of dirt and stuff that might be coming through. Hopefully some of the dirt and stuff that might come through the pipe shouldn't be coming from the city, but you never know. And anyway, that got that done. Now the reason we had to cut that big hole was because we put this big bulkhead in there. And I got to tell you, be sure you use the tape. And I've been using this stuff that they gave me over here at the hardware store. It's a I don't know, it's fibrous material. When it starts to dry, it comes out really fibrous, as you might can tell from the side of this and on my finger too. And it's kind of like my grandfather used to use when he was doing plumbing, and he'd use like a string of sorts, and this kind of really fills in the gaps. So I've been real thrilled with it, and I had forgotten to put any kind of tape or anything on here, and I had a leak when I tested the system a little earlier, and so I had to tear this whole part out and go back in here and put it. So be sure you tape and maybe use some of this fibrous kind of, it's not glue, but it's a filler, and it does great. Anyway, this comes out of the bottom of the tank. We come angle over to the corner of the structure, and we've got a T that goes down to where we're going to take water out of the tank when it comes out. And then right up here we've got a tube that's going to measure the water. We'll be able to see the water level as it fills. One of the kind of advantages, I guess, is we had just a little bit of gunk. Didn't get the tank fully cleaned out. No, it's got just a touch of water there from my previous test. You can see that balances out, and we'll be able to leave that here, and we'll be able to see the color as it rises. So let's do, as we say, the moment of truth and start the water flowing. And that's just going to send the water up and into the top of the tank. I'm sure you can probably hear it filling up in there. And then as it fills, then automatically, because water finds a balance, as the water rises in the tank, it will automatically start to rise here. And so I'm going to keep my finger right here, and we'll see here in just a few seconds, it'll start to rise. There we go. It's starting to rise and rise and rise. And then we'll be able to see when it gets full, that should go all the way to the top. So a real simple way of being able to see how much water's in your tank when it's not the transparent tank. Just run a pipe over here and put a little T on it and run a clear plastic tube on the outside, and you'll be able to see as the water starts to rise. So I'm going to let this thing fill up, and we'll have some non-chlorine water tomorrow, because this stuff has chlorine in it. You can smell it when it starts to fill, or when you even take a glass of water. So I always let my water sit for at least a day before I drink it, and also I tend to boil it here. But we're going to let this sit for our plants. And that big hole that I've got, it's about a probably 3-inch by 2.5-inch hole cut up at the top, and that's where that mosquito netting is, and that's going to allow that chlorine to evaporate. Actually, I can smell chlorine right now, so that's good. I mean, hopefully it'll just evaporate into the air, and at least out of our water, we'll be able to use this for plants. And just to show, we'll see, we're way up here already. We're moving on up. Let's see what kind of pressure we've got with just that. And pretty good. I mean, it'll certainly flow plenty enough to do that. Let me take this off. This has got a little flow restrictor. Oh, it's got some gunk in it too. So certainly that's not going to flow very well. We've got to clean that out. But this is then just wide open. Oh yeah, that's really good. And that comes because we use the ball valve here instead of a regular faucet. The regular faucet doesn't have the hole that the ball valve does. It goes wide open. So there's a lot of good pressure even when we don't have much water in here already. So all right, that's where we are in this project. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and we look forward to giving you more videos and more instructions.